Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rolling. As finally, some TJ numbers are coming out. We finally know what TJ Watt is looking for when it comes to this contract, as it's been reported now. He's looking to become the highest paid non quarterback in the league. Right now, Jamar Chase is the highest paid non quarterback, and he's making $40.25 million. And this is why the Steelers are so hesitant. We knew the number was going to be large. We knew it was going to be relatively close to Myles Garrett's $40 million a year. So not too much higher, but you're going to have to overcome the 40 or go over the $40.25 million a year mark if you're the Steelers. And that's why they're so hesitant. Usually, contracts this big or long term deals, usually 4 to 5 years, not 2 or 3 years. So it's going to be iffy if the Steelers are going to be able to pull this one off because 31 years old, Watt is already. His best days could be behind him. But if you look at the numbers by 31, Watt's the seventh highest total sack numbers by the age of 31. The six players in front of him, Reggie White, LaMarcus Ware, Bruce Smith, Von Miller, Jared Allen, and Michael Strahan. All these players had a different trajectory after they passed the age of 31. I was trying to see if there's any relative signs to these franchise face pass rushers, if there's any longevity to it, if there's a chart you can go to and be like, yes, the production will continue if the history shows. But no, it's all fluctuates. I mean, Reggie White was a productive pass rusher till he was 37. DeMarcus Ware slowly decreased his 3 years after turning 31. Bruce Smith played 10 more seasons and was solid every year, it felt like. That's why he's the sack leader all time. Von Miller basically has become a role player. Jared Allen fell off the face of the earth after he turned 31. Strahan, always solid. He did set not the lead record, but he was the league leader in sacks one year after he turned 31. Every other year was kind of mediocre to solid. And then, so there's no real projection based on history of how pass rusher ages. It's all up in the air. And with TJ Watt's injury history, he gets hurt, dinged up a little bit every year, it feels like, the age already being at that 31 mark. It is hard to see the Steelers willing to commit to a long term deal. Now, me personally, I love TJ Watt. I think he deserves the money, and I'd lock him in till he was 36. He'll probably retire after that contract is up. If he does want to push it 1 or 2 more years, he could always renegotiate. And you can always renegotiate after the deal gets signed. TJ seems like a fairly reasonable guy. So if the production does really dramatically decrease, I could see him being willing to renegotiate a contract to possibly stay in Pittsburgh. But that's just all speculation on my end. I really do hope the deal gets done, but after seeing the number we're gonna probably have to hit, making him the highest non-paid quarterback, it is hard to believe right now that TJ is gonna get that deal signed before the season starts. Let's move on to another contract though, as Tyler Boyd, who reportedly said he'd be very interested in coming to Pittsburgh, having a homecoming with the Steelers. He played at Pitt, has ties to the community already. Steelers offered him a contract. Steelers now reported that it was 2 years, $10 million, and Tyler Boyd shut us down, said no. So that's kind of bamboozling me. I think 5 million is already a little high to pay someone that had such a horrendous year last year. I know I've been nice to you the previous episodes, but that's because I've wanted you on the team. Now you've kind of made me a little upset here after shutting us down after a relatively decent contract was thrown your way. 2 years, $5 million. That's basically a prove it deal after a really bad year in Tennessee. Once again, everyone had a bad year in Tennessee, but you got to go off of the recent results, and he was not a number one guy over there, and those weren't even number two numbers, honestly, he was putting up over in Tennessee last year. So it's a little frustrating. I would still love to see Boyd come up. He's looking for more money though. I wouldn't offer him any more money than the 5 million already on the table. You just gotta hold out if you're the Steelers and hope no one else offers him a contract that beats the $5 million a year mark the Steelers are setting. So hopefully he gets a little more reasonable with his price tag and comes down and is willing to sign a contract with the Steelers so we can get an actual certified wide receiver two in the building. And as we talk about wide receivers and the offense, we got a little business vacation going on as DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin look to join Aaron Rodgers in Malibu and their time off. The Steelers are off till July 23rd, where they will be in Latrobe at St. Vincent College for for training camp. That's day one. But we always love to see when a new quarterback comes to town, him trying to develop connections with his receivers early, and the receivers reciprocating that love and trying to develop connections with the quarterback also. And the top two targets going out there with Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully, this makes it an easier transition for the offense. Hopefully, the kinks get worked out faster this way because of the extra reps they're putting in when they don't even have to. It's probably a nice time out there in Malibu. I know they're not only putting in reps on the practice field. Malibu is a very nice place. So I really hope this helps with the development of this offense with Aaron Rodgers' comfortability with the receivers around him, especially his two main targets this year. So hopefully this all works out well. Once again, you love seeing your veteran quarterback who could basically turn it all way down, just throw in the towel already, and basically just pick up he pick up his check, doesn't have to do anything else. But Aaron Rodgers is showing he's still dedicated to the game, still dedicated to whatever team he signs for. And right now, he is a Steeler, so he's dedicated to the Steelers, and he's gonna try to figure out this offense as best as possible and get it working at a high pace this next season for us fans. Hopefully, we see an actual exciting offense on the field once again. Let's wrap up this show though on just an abysmal note. Um, right now, the Steelers are only favorited to win 6 games in the 2025 season. I looked at every game individually. The betting odds are weird because the Steelers betting numbers, the line for wins this year is 8.5 or 9, and we're only favored in 6 games before we get to the preseason, before we even get to training camps. The early lines on every game. The Steelers right now are only favored to beat the Browns twice, the Jets, the Seahawks, the Colts, and the Dolphins. This feels a touch disrespectful. I know our schedule is really tough this year, especially the back half of the schedule, but you're telling me New England and the Vikings are guaranteed to be better than us? I mean, both second year quarterbacks in New England. You got a new head coach. I mean, I'm taking the longest tenured head coach over a new head coach in week three any day of the week, in my opinion. I don't think Vrabel will have the culture really set completely yet in New England, but I guess Vegas thinks differently. Also, not gonna lie, I could make the argument that we could beat the Chargers and the Bears also. I could make the argument we're better than them, just straight up on paper. That's all I'm trying to say. And I just don't like the disrespect. It happens every year, it feels like. I know we're mediocre, Mike. We're the most mid team in the league every year, it feels like, of the last previous 5 seasons. Since 2020 hit, we've been one of the most mid teams in the league. It feels like even a little bit before that, I think 2018 was really the downfall into mediocrity. So that is where we are at right now. 6 games. I think it should be at least 8 because give me. I think we're beating the Pats and who was it? The Vikings in Dublin. Dublin loves us. We've been the reason the NFL is going to Dublin. Santonio Holmes was putting in work all last year over there in Ireland to get the fans involved with the game over there. So we're gonna win in Dublin. We're definitely beating the Vikings, definitely beating the Pats. Also, once again, making the argument for the Chargers and Bears. They're not glorious. They're not anything special. They're not generational teams. So why? We're one of the most well-rounded rosters besides quarterback, maybe. And I think if you give Aaron Rodgers a line, it is there for this team to win over 10 plus games and possibly 12. That's my limit. But that is it from Steelers latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.